dodo. Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun làwa mọ̀, làwọn dodo. Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. Maiyegun diary, lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Maiyegun diary, gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí. Maiyegun diary, àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun diary, bó bá ṣe àní Maiyegun máa wí. Maiyegun diary, ó sì tún ṣe wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun diary politico. Maiyegun diary, Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun. Maiyegun diary, ẹ fara balẹ̀ ṣẹ́ o kẹgbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Maiyegun diary, àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ dodo. Maiyegun diary,
Thank you very much for joining me. So you're welcome to Maiyegun's Diary tonight, and from wherever you're watching from, this is Maiyegun Live. I decided to quickly drop this as well tonight, just as it is hot. We know that the plan of those who are currently in charge of Nigeria is to mortgage the future of those who are even yet unborn. But you should have an idea how they are going about it, how crafty they have been about it. And we will not keep silent. We will not keep quiet. We'll keep speaking up until probably we'll get to speak to the mind of the real people that will eventually team up to challenge these criminals and stop this calamity, I'll call it, because it's a road to perdition. Yes, it is. Poverty is rising. Insecurity is rising. Corruption is escalating. The impunity in the system is more or less like never seen before. But the audacity is what is kind of strange. And that is why it is better to put this, all of this on record for posterity's sake. I was just sieving through the internet just this evening. I was just curious when that news came that one of the House of Rep members in Nigeria discovered that there is a clause in this loan that Bukhari has been taking from China. Some of them, many of them secretly. The only obvious one is the $12 billion rail project that Goodluck Jonathan renewed, or let me say renegotiated, in September 2014. So that is the major one that seems to be obvious. There are more. And in fact, the reason why many of us should continue to speak up, very important, is that the same people who have been telling Nigerians that loan, the debt they are accumulating is for infrastructural development, and they are very much necessary. So far, so good. They have borrowed more than $30 billion. So far, so good in 5 years. And as if that is not enough, they have also told us that they are recovering looted funds, that they are also reinvesting into structural development, they call it, yes. Building roads, railways, trying to build the power building refineries or reconstructing here and there, that never ever ends. But the way they have modeled the whole thing up is to confuse you more. But if you pay attention, right? If you pay attention, it is not far-fetched. The House of Rep members, the House Committee currently probing them on the China loan, are going to find, they will find can or drum of worms, of lies, of how much they have negotiated the future of Nigeria away, that they are not in any way interested in ending poverty in this generation, the generation coming after, even the fourth generation. That is the plan. And if you care, I don't know where you're going to raise your own generation, your own children, or I don't know where you are right now. But we are not all that lucky to have a second world, or let me say the second country for our children, the generation coming after us. They have sold off everything that is valuable about that country through so many ridiculous deals they are making. They are making deals to borrow money on one hand. On the other hand, they are also telling us that they are recovering loot. And there is a particular one that caught my attention that I actually decided to bring to this broadcast tonight. It is from the Attorney General. 2 days ago, or yesterday, or 2 days ago, he was speaking at a forum organized, I think, for him, or probably is a special guest. And he said publicly, he said they have, he personally had supervised recovery of $62 billion in the last 5 years alone. As Attorney General, he has supervised recovery of $62 billion. No further information was given, but he said the money has been pumped back into infrastructural development in Nigeria. Now, let's ask ourselves, can we now say that if they have recovered 62 billion in 5 years, right, and they have invested them in infrastructural development, the same road, rail that China is building now. You know, the agreement with China is that China will borrow them 4 billion. Okay, Nigeria will go and find how they fund the 8 billion. That was what Jonathan agreed to in 2014, so that they can build change the single gauge rail line that connects Kogi to Port Harcourt, from Port Harcourt to Lagos, from Lagos to Ibadan to Kano. That's what they wanted. They want to round the country by train or rail. So it was a contract that will cost $12 billion. $12 billion for 1,430 something kilometers of length, so to say. So when Buhari came, he traveled to China himself to renegotiate the deal in 2016. And when they renegotiated the deal, I don't know what they agreed to. China decided to continue the construction. Meanwhile, when Jonathan went for it in 2014, that was the moment they decided to start with Abuja Kaduna rail line. So by 2016, July, Jonathan was no longer the president. July 2016, Buhari is now the president. So Buhari commissioned Abuja Kaduna rail line as completed, and it became operational fully in July 2015. The continuation of the project was that China will pay part of the money. Now, Nigeria will pay part of the money too, right? Eventually, China will operate all the rail line for 25 years, some of them for 40 years, some of them for 30 years, some corridors like that, until they recoup their own money, the one they invested. That's the agreement too. Now, if you now listen to the Attorney General, the man that said he supervised recovery of $62 billion in 5 years. $62 billion is a lot of money. Buhari's government they've borrowed in their first 4 years, they borrowed over 30 billion. Today, when they came in, they met Nigeria's budget, Nigeria's debt at 13.5 billion. The total debt plus state and the local government debt, foreign debt there, was actually something around the 25, 26 billion dollars in 2015. Today, they've managed to push the whole thing, the national debt now, to over $80 billion. $80 billion. And they've also received approval to go and borrow. You know what they have borrowed already, have you? Now, they have also received approval to go and borrow another $27.9 billion. This time around, 10 billion of that is coming from China. Okay. They've also received another approval to go and borrow another $750 million from World Bank. That is the reason why they have to devalue the naira again. And now, before the end of the year, today, a dollar to a naira is now 472 naira to 472 naira to a dollar today. They devalued it because they wanted to borrow 750 million naira, $1 million. They recovered the Abacha loot and the rest. They said they have pumped it back into the economy. Into the construction they are doing. So yeah, that is the confusion. Okay, the debt is piling due to the agreement they have with China. Now, in the clause, they found out that Chinese who are coming on this agreement, the Chinese government that want to borrow, the Chinese import, they call them the Exim, that is the Export and Import Bank of China. They call it, I don't know how they call it Exim Bank, by the way. Right? They are those who facilitated the loan. They are the lender. Meanwhile, it is actually the Chinese government who is giving out this loan to these foreign nationals, these foreign countries, as their own way of gaining access into their vital national assets like rail, road, shipping, oil, and so on, like that. To the point that they are now getting into technology, information gathering for Nigeria. You will be shocked at what they have delved you into. They have dipped the country into because of those tokens they are going about to borrow. How can you say you recover 62 billion? That's the question. Mine is to always ask questions, right? I don't just listen to all these paid influencers, people who just want to explain things away. Just ask the direct question. That's how I think, right? If the Attorney General says they have recovered 62 billion, that's what he said, $62 billion, he said. It's out there. So how then do you have to continue to borrow to the point that they said Nigeria will lose your sovereignty? You will lose your sovereignty simply because criminals are borrowing in your name. And when you lose your sovereignty, this is what that means, okay? They are borrowing because the money is there for them to borrow and loot. They don't care about the consequences and all that. They said the contract they are signing are written in Mandarin, Chinese, meaning they have to pay people at the point of delivery to help them interpret the Chinese manual of whatever they are building. You know why? Because they build them to own them. That is the agreement. The agreement is we will use this part money to help you build this. You add the rest, right? Now, when we finish building it, we will operate it. We are not going to leave it to you for you to pay us. No, we will operate it for so years in partnership, meaning as you are, as the whole thing comes to be. So if Nigeria fail, for example, if any government just come in now and say, you know what kind of deal is this? Why would Nigeria sign out this kind of deals? No, this is impossible. I'm canceling all the deals. You know what will happen? You will lose all your whatever asset you have anywhere. You see that foreign account, foreign account or whatever they call it. The one they always put your what do you call it? Your foreign deposit. So these countries, these Chinese companies who have access to confiscate whatever they have there, any property that is claim to be owned by Nigeria, any businesses associated with Nigeria, anything that has to do with Nigeria and Nigeria government, especially, all this company can go after them, and Nigeria will have nothing to do about them. They can take over your embassy, they can take over your property anywhere, and just to say, well, because this new government think it can probably, after doing every other thing, by the way, to sabotage, to sabotage the country and cause more chaos in the process, because the politicians have handed over the country to them. We do believe it, that they are borrowing $500 million from China to invest in your, what do you call it, your information gathering, your Ministry of Communication, Ministry of Technology, wherever. They are now in partner with borrowing money for China to come and upgrade their technology. In the process, they have to share information with them. All of these are supposed to be of things of national security, but guess what? They have sold everything out already, simply because of the peanut. Whenever they want to change the bed sheet or the curtains inside NTA, they will go out and borrow millions of naira, millions of dollars. And in the process, they give up everything they could give up, because they believe that, well, whoever is coming after them can be dealing with that. Who is coming after them? There's nobody coming after them. They will be the end. They will be the last, because after them, there will be no Nigeria. That's why I feel somehow that, you see, the interest that will make it difficult for Nigeria to break up, the interests are increasing day by day. They are going beyond the Fulani, going beyond the Igbos, going beyond the Hausa, all this back and forth of a thing anymore. There are more interests now, and China's interest is new. It is a long-term plan that some of us are not actually prepared for, because that's what I see. Now, they found out that there is a clause that says Nigeria will lose sovereignty on your asset outside Nigeria if you default. To default is easy. Politicians believe that they can borrow, and at the end of the day, they will ask for debt forgiveness. Now, only America, they borrow you money. Appoint a consultant to monitor how you spend the money. Most of the time, the money, no account. They know. China doesn't borrow you money to now say, take this money. We'll appoint a consultant that will be monitoring the loan and then and your repayment. No, China won't even give you the money. The way China borrow you money is that China will tell you that, do you want to construct road from here to Abakaliki? Yes, we want to. Okay, how much do you think it will cost you to construct the road? You said, okay, we believe it cost us $100. Okay, they will call their Chinese company and say, come, if you want to construct a road from this place to the Abakaliki, they say, this kilometer, how much? They say, well, we'll construct it for $60. $60, Abi, fine. You know what? We will borrow you $60. They know you want to steal the $40. So let's now say you want to borrow 600, you want to borrow 1 billion. China will not borrow you 1 billion. China will tell you that, okay, we will borrow you 600 million. You should go and, you too should go and find 400 million. You know why? Because they won't give the money to you. They will give the money to their own companies. Then they will now draft a condition for that loan. You will get the loan, the one they will tell you that will cost the project. Then the next thing is going to be, these are the conditions. The conditions are the reason why they don't tell you about these details. Now, here is where the whole thing becomes complicated. The House of Rep, who are currently doing the oversight function, job on the China project and China loan with Bukwari's government, they found that there are clauses, but the one interesting one is about this 500 million for railway project. They want to borrow 500 million from China. The 500 million, for some reason, is for the same rail project that one way or the other should be or have been, concluded on the source of funding, not when the contract is ongoing. Then you say, we want to go and borrow again. For what? Then they found that what they want to borrow, no explanation was given, so to say. It's just that we want to borrow this $500 million to further the project. And it's typical, isn't it? So they now ask them, well, what about this clause that says if you fail to pay back all this loan you are taking? Let me give you a few examples of the China loan that they have taken. Chinese projects in Nigeria. So I'll give you the figures in a moment. So they said they are building. They have paid for that. That should be an agreed stuff. So now the clause. Why do you have a clause? Because so far so good. China has $47 billion investment in the road and in the road, rail, and every other project they are involved in, including mining, extraction, and the rest of that in different parts of the country. Right now, they have over 47 key federal government projects. Let me see if I can list a few of them. There are about 22 major infrastructural projects, they call it. Now we have, let me see if I can see more of them here. And they are being handled by the CCECC. That is a China Civil Engineering Construction Corporation, okay, a subsidiary of a China Railway Corporation. However, they have listened to some of these projects. They are handling. Some of them are on loan. Many of them are on loan. Some of them are being paid for by Nigeria by borrowing another loan to pay for the one Chinese are doing, okay. But some of them are familiar. They have about $600 million for 4 international airport terminals they are working on in Nigeria right now since 2013. So they are the ones fixing the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport. They are the one fixing the Port Harcourt International Airport. They are the one fixing the Malami Aminu Kano Airport, and as well as Muritala Muhammad International Airport in Lagos. Okay, so they said the 4 projects are being funded with a $500 million loan from the Exim, which is an Export-Import Bank of China, and $100 million counterpart funding from the federal government. Does that make sense now? So the way they fund their project is that they will say, we want to repair our airport. It will cost how much? Oh, it will cost 1 billion. China will call their own company and say, come, if you want to renovate the airport to the standard these people are asking for, how much? Those one will say, oh, it will only cost $500 million, $600 million. Oh, 600 million. Okay, that's fine. What we will do then is that you will tell them that you will build the terminal for them for 600 million. They want to borrow money, 1 billion, but we won't borrow them 1 billion. So you will tell them that you will do it for 600 million China. Then we will borrow them $500 million. They should go and find 100 million as counterpart funding. That is what they call counterpart funding. No? So the condition for the loan, they won't tell you, but I'll give you an idea today. So 4 airports, they are renovating. Abuja Airport, Kano Airport, Port Harcourt International Airport, and the Lagos International Airport. The 4 of them are currently being renovated by CCECC for $600 million right now. Now, for the interest rate on that loan is 5.37, meaning the interest on that 500 million they borrow them is 5.37%. Okay, keep that. For railway project alone, China is handling $35 billion worth of railway projects right now. And this, I'll give you the list as well. So let's start with Lagos Kano. They said they are building Lagos Kano with another line from Kaduna to Abuja, then Lagos to Calabar, then Port Harcourt to Maiduguri, as well as so all this will cost For example, Lagos to Kano will cost $9 billion. Kaduna to Abuja, or Lagos to Calabar, rather, Lagos to Calabar will cost $11 billion. Then Port Harcourt to Maiduguri will cost $15 billion. So all of that should be $35 billion. Okay. Now, when the idea of a 25, listen to this. So when the idea of the 25-year railway development plan was mooted in 2016, when Obasanjo started the idea, you know what I mean now, to an idea of 25 years development plan for railway system in Nigeria, he called on the Chinese. And at that time, they agreed that it will cost $8.3 billion to construct Lagos to Kano rail line at the time. But however, here is the job so far. In 2016, when they will take the face of the job out of Abuja-Kaduna Expressway. So they started the Lagos-Ibadan stretch, which is being handled by the Chinese right now. It is 156-kilometer line. So that is a Lagos-Ibadan. And that one, it was awarded then at $1.5 billion. Another $500 million was approved to make it $2 billion right now. Now, from Ibadan to Kaduna, that stretch will cost $6.68 billion. It's been handled by China. You will still know how they source the loan. No? Though Abuja to Kaduna, that one cost $876 million. Remember that. However, the loan to fund Kaduna to Abuja rail line, remember, it cost $876 million. China borrowed them $500 million from that. Okay. At the same 5.37% interest rate. Then they've got the third segment, which is after the Kano Kaduna, which is also going to come on. They've got the Lagos Kano Rail Modernization Project with a contract of $1.68 billion. Then Calabar, Port Harcourt segment 1, which is expected to be extended to on a deep seaport, the coastal rail in Calabar. That one will cost $3.4 billion. All of that will be handled by China, CCECC. So Lagos to Calabar, again, that will cost $11 billion, handled by China. Now, this is where I am actually going. One sec. How they source the loan. She also said, okay. Now, before I get to how they source for the loan, another project being handled by another Chinese China representing company in Nigeria called Alcatel and ZTE. These Chinese companies, they were awarded a project of National Rural Telephony Program designed by the federal government to extend communication service to rural communities for $200 million. Another project, closed circuit television, CCTV contract, that is the spy camera. That one was done by Goodluck Jonathan for Abuja, $470 million. That was what Jonathan got for that. But the project stopped after they paid the company $100 million. They didn't pay them the rest. However, another project being handled and financed. Most of and this is also another area that you should also pay attention to, which is every loan given to Nigeria by China comes through that Export-Import Bank of China. It is the intermediary, so that it won't be like it's coming from the communist nation or government themselves. It will be coming from a lender. But the people who draft the agreement, and when you read some of them, and the tone and the intention of some of them, the takeover logic of some of them will give you the idea that China gives the money to Exim, and Exim borrowed the money to Nigeria, only to sold off the country, I'll say. However, CCTV camera in Lagos and Abuja from the Ministry of Police was also, they said, for Nigeria National Public Security Communication System. Nigeria, listen to this, Nigerian National Public Security Communications System, facilitated by an Exim Bank loan. And like I said, whenever China want to give you any loan, they don't give you the loan. They commission their own company. They will take the job and do the job for you under this other agreement that they don't tell you. Amaechi doesn't want. Are you with me? Amaechi, the Minister of Transportation, is not kind of happy. Is really, really unhappy that the National Assembly wants them to lay it bare, nothing to hide. What are the agreements what are the things you agree to? That if you fail, or if another government comes in and decided to review all this package, are they going to be locked down, tied down by China? Because by then, China will defend the people who gave the loan. So they said, let us query this. What do you mean by Nigeria will lose the sovereignty of the country if they fail to pay? Nigeria is going to fail to pay. How can you not see that? China knows that you won't pay. You won't pay, and all this agreement will become the regular document on social media very soon. And you begin to wonder, how did they agree to all of this? To go and borrow peanuts under ridiculous arrangements, putting the risk, the safety, the national security of the people. There is no national security. I'm just trying to sound like we have a country. I know there's no country, but I'm just trying to sound like one, like there is one. Currently, the Nigerian public communication or national security for public communication, wherever, is now being controlled by God knows who from China. So they know us, they know everything, they know whatever, they know all the capacity, they know where your military are weak, they know everything they need to know right now, because they've been handed over, because they borrowed $500 million to renovate, to set up a CCTV camera in Lagos and Abuja, controlled by the police, Ministry of Police Affairs and all that. Now they've handed over all of that. They have access to them, and you don't know who. Now, there is another one. You remember when China, you remember Nigeria satellite where them built in 2007, 2008, that got missing? We never find them again. How many of you remember that satellite, Nigeria Sat-1? That was shot into the orbit then. It got missing. It's called Nikon Sat-1. You remember that? Yeah, that was built by China at the time, and it cost it was built by China Great Wall Industry Corporation in 2007, 2008. Then they shoot it into the orbit. The satellite disappeared. Sorry, I'm trying to bring something on here. So that cost Nigeria $400 million built by China. It was a loan. It's part of the loan, the earliest loan that introduced Nigeria and Bokwari today, which is currently enjoying and then floundering as well. They are not just into security, technology, rail, the road, and so on. They are also into power projects. So far, so good. They are handling the power project worth $10 billion in Nigeria. Are you with me? Yusuf, I understand where you might be coming from. It is fake news until it is not. It is always one. I remember when they warned us. How many of you remember when they told us then that it will come to a time that terrorists in Nigeria will be emboldened, that they will have so much courage and confidence that killings would escalate? How many of you remember that you actually didn't believe that then? Until now? So it can always be a lie, especially for those of you who detest the truth. That's probably not coming out so well to you. But well, fine. It is a lie until it becomes the truth. Today they are handling $10 billion worth of electric or power projects, and they said they will be delivering 3,050 megawatts in Taraba. The contract will cost $5.8 billion, and it was signed by the federal government and the China Gezoba Group Corporation, Sino Hydro. They call them Sino Hydro Corporation Limited, and the CGCOC Group Company Limited. All these names are just, in 2017. And they said they will build $5.8 billion power plant in Taraba. Okay, it will generate 3,000 and so megawatts of electricity. They are also the contract sum to power that. The China Exim Bank will borrow them 85% of the money. Do the math. I don't know. Nigeria will pay 15% balance for that project. In Zungeru hydropower project, which they say will generate 700 megawatts of electricity, hydroelectricity facility, it's called, will be developed, or it's also being developed, they say, by Chinese, with the Chinese assistance. So being built by Chinese, and this, they say, one moment, they say, okay, the upper and the middle reaches of the Kaduna River and Niger State. That doesn't really make any sense. Right. A consortium of China National Electric Engineering Company and Sino Hydro was awarded the $1.3 billion contract in October 2012 by Goodluck Jonathan. It is expected to take 60 months for completion. So far, so good. We expect that to be delivered in 2020, handled by China. They say low price, the attraction why Nigeria is going after China to borrow money. I'm very fine, Jare Uju. Thank you. All of you. Thank you so much. Oh, Facebook is messing up, so we are fine here. We'll hear ourselves here. We'll drop them here. People will find them. And then, So they say because it is low price, they say now it's only China that is giving them the interest of 5.3 or single digit interest rate, something that they no longer enjoy from their Western lender, America, Europe, and few other places they've been borrowing. They've managed to get sukuk loan from other areas too. They call those interest free. But the reason why they are going to take more from China is because they say low price, low interest loans. Does that make any sense now? For those of you who have been listening to me all this while, I told you the corrupt criminals in Nigeria will go to China. A project, they will say, we want to build this cup, this teacup. Let me see. They will tell you they want to renew this teacup for 10 naira. China know that. Then China will be like, okay, you Chinese cup maker, how much are you going to make this cup for these people? The tea cup makers will say, well, this quality will make it for 6 naira. Because China knows say them be thieves. China won't give the money. China won't say, oh, don't worry, we will only borrow you 6 naira. No. So China will then offer to do the job for them. China will say, don't worry. Don't say the person will want to do this cup for you, say na 10 naira be. They know they are thieves, so don't worry. We will do it for, we have people that will do it for you for 6 naira. You know, say you want to come and borrow 10 naira to go and make this cup. Relax. We will not borrow you 10 naira. We will borrow you 5 naira. Okay? But that money, we will give you the people who will make the cup for 6 naira. You will go and find 1 naira to make it 6 naira and pay this person when he finish constructing this cup for you. Is that okay? That's how they make the deal for them. That is why it is attractive. So it's easier now to say, okay, we can just take, we know that this project is going to cost 1 million naira or $1 million dollars. Now let's just put it at $10 million. When it is $10 million, we will just go to China and ask China to borrow us $5 million dollars. So we know that China will tell us that this thing will cost 1 million. Eventually, they will not borrow us more than 1 million. But at least we know that 1 million that China will borrow us with the interest rate, that will finish the job. Let us now go out and see who will borrow us the remaining 4 million or the remaining 9 million. We'll just say the same project. Nigerians will just think we still borrow the money to do the project. We know that China will do it cheap. Then they decided to plunge the country into more debt and more debt and more debt. And today, if you think, you see, where you should get smart is this. If politician tells you what you want to hear, because they've managed to pull the rug and pull the rug off your feet and then pull the wool off, on your eyes, you know what I mean? Ask yourself these few questions. Malami or Malamu, the Attorney General, said he has personally overseen the recovered loot of $62 billion dollars. That's a lot of money. But he quickly added that they have added the money into the construction they are doing. Who did they pay the money to? Is it to China that borrowed them money and paid the money to their engineers to do the job? Or who did they put $62 billion dollars recovered? Where? Since they came in. Recurrent expenditure. You know what they call recurrent? Recurrent is when they pay salary, when they have to renovate Aso Rock, when they have to buy themselves cars, when they have to put this ridiculous amount on the ridiculous projects and ask you to pay for it. Even though they know there is no money, they will borrow to get it. When they do all of that, the loan they are taking, the borrowing they are collecting and all of that, manipulating the system, changing the papers, forging the documents, signing your lives away. When you read their budget, recurrent budget jumped from what it used to be 40%, 45%, jumped now to about 70% of your annual budget. Think about that. 48 million barrels of crude oil was secretly stolen from Nigeria under this same system, these same criminals, and they found out in a farm in China. And the same Attorney General and co and the rest of them managed to sell that off and share the money. NNPC, the same NNPC that in 2016, when Baru was the NNPC GMD, flew to London to go and get the assent, the signature of Bokwari that was on hospital bed in London then in 2016. You remember those this oil licensing renewal contract of the time. The reason why they actually came for Jonathan, by the way, for those who know better. You remember Baru in 2016 too, $25.5 billion oil contract renewal, the oil licensing renewal at the time, the money, the royalty, they don't share them. As they come in, it's going to private account. They recovered loot. Oh, they said they have recovered loot. They have recovered so much that, in fact, we should be thankful to Bukwari, the Attorney General, the man that you saw his video, the video of himself and his son, right? You saw the drama, you saw all of that, publicly said they have recovered 62 billion. $62 billion is a lot of money. But here we are. They are borrowing to try to improve electricity, to improve infrastructure at ridiculous amount and the ridiculous conditions that many of you, if you get to know them, you will weep and cry and ask them to break up this place before they sell the people. They have sold everything before they sell you too. Before you begin to read it in Chinese, in Mandarin, that you are actually a property of China, and you begin to say, me, property of China, you'll be asking yourself, guess what? You won't know what they've put you into. The legal way you have to drag yourself out of it. Maybe that will be the time everybody will agree that enough is enough. But here we are. I'm going to read what the Attorney General said. Malami said, because that's the way I get them. I love internet. It's so easy that when you see people asking some questions on social media, you just feel like, why don't you use the device you are holding and ask the question from Google? You will get the answer. Malami said he has recovered $62 billion from oil debtors, because according to him, there were people who deliberately refused to pay Nigeria's due royalty from the oil exploration in Niger Delta. You see, this news alone is, apart from the NDDC drama, this thing I'm about to tell you now should get everyone in Niger Delta really, really angry. I mean, everyone who might actually be calling himself a Nigerian, you should be very angry with what I'm about to tell you, but nothing gets you angry. You see your brothers murdered. You see children murdered. You see aged people butchered by terrorists. But you still find the excuses for them anyway. So nothing really bothers you. But this is something. And it's coming from the Attorney General. I didn't say it. Oh. It is your Attorney General, Malami, that said it. Oh. According to him, he said, I'm going to read it so that you understand him, because I'm going to read his quote, gong. Not what the newspaper writes, but what he himself said in quotes. According to him, they have recovered 62 billion from those who have been stealing oil, those who have been doing this and that, okay? He said the accumulation of over 62 billion in unpaid arrears of revenue due to the Federation plus interest under the deep offshore production sharing contracts and the subsequent steps taken to recover the amount from the oil producing companies have sparked national interest and media debate. I don't know if many of you even know if that media debate is anywhere about recovered royalties from oil companies. 62 billion. $62 billion. $1 billion. See, $1 billion today is 472 billion naira. 1 billion. So if you multiply 1 billion by 10, by 10, that will make 10 billion. So if you multiply 472 billion by 10, I think that should give you 4.7 trillion naira. So if you then say 4.7 trillion naira in how many places? 6 places. Then you will be looking at about 24, let me see, about 25 trillion naira. 25 trillion naira. Where is it? Where is the money? That's the question you should be asking. But some of you won't. But we should be asking. We should all be asking. Okay? That is what the Attorney General said they have recovered that. According to him, he said, it is interesting to note that since 19th of January 2017, Trouble International Nigeria Limited had identified the accrued and unpaid revenue arising from the profit sharing contract as a huge recovery prospect and sent a proposal to the Federal Ministry of Finance applying to be engaged as recovery agent to recover the accrued revenue. Now, according to Malami, which is the one I want to bring up this day, as a one from this day. He has recovered. Yep. This day. Yep. So 25 trillion. And they are borrowing. And they are still borrowing. They are begging to borrow. And you ask yourself, where is the money? Where is it? That's trillions. That should be your national budget for 2 years. If Nigeria begin to spend 12.5 trillion or 13 trillion a year budget, you will fund the budget. You will not borrow a kobo for 2 years if that money that is said they recovered is genuinely in that Nigeria cover. Ask yourself. It's a simple question. Okay? And they also speak about, let me even put this up as well. Malami speaks on recovered loot. So it was the same Malamu that referred to Abacha loot as Abacha asset. Remember that? Under Boko Haram alone. I'm not sure if I still have that screen on. I'm going to check. Under Boko Haram alone, Abacha loot that they have recovered is now over $1 billion. If you ask them today, where is the money? They will tell you that they have either used the money to fight poverty, or they have put it inside the construction, infrastructure. But when you dig deep into the infrastructure, you realize that 85% of the ongoing construction in Nigeria is being done with borrowed money, loan. 85%. Think about that. But they are borrowing to tell you that they are borrowing to construct railway, borrowing to construct electricity, borrowing to construct this, blah, 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 the blah, the blah, the blah. Before then, sell off the country. Before then, sell off the country, sell the people inside. The poverty is going to continue. The debt is going to be paid. Generations are going to be strangulated to keep paying. If you're now today in your national budget every year, imagine spending over 4 trillion servicing debt, not paying back, servicing. What servicing means is that you don't have enough money to even pay back. but you can pay some little token back. That little token, that your 4 trillion, that is little token in the debt. Think about what 4 trillion can do in that country if those criminals were genuinely. Remember, Obasanjo once cancelled Nigeria debt. Nigeria once had zero debt. Goodluck Jonathan and Yaradua came. They escalated the debt, push it to 13.5 billion federal government debt. 25 billion the entire state, the entire country debt, including the state and local government, all of them, foreign debt, 25 billion. Bukwari came, push the federal government debt from 13 billion to over 30 billion now. And he's going to borrow more. Now, the states, under many of them, PDP, APC, all these criminals, borrowing money up and down, World Bank, this, World Bank, that. Now, the national debt is now over $82 billion. So they have to continue to deduct from state allocation to pay debt. So after turning the whole country into beggars, the states are now begging to be able to pay salary. If they don't go to Abuja every month, they will not pay anybody's salary. Even though if they are going to still steal the money, but they need to go to Abuja and beg for money every month before they can pay their workers in their state. After making the state redundant, they allow them to go on borrowing spree. Lagos State is next, the most indebted state in Nigeria. They say Lagos get money, Lagos get money. They don't get drinking water. No drinking water, no stable electricity, no security, no employment. The highest jobless people you will see, graduates, you will find them in Lagos. But they will tell you every year they spend billions. They are now crossing trillions in their budget. Nothing to show for it. But they will tell you Lagos can pay. But every month, from the source, from the Father Christmas in Abuja, before the money get to state, they have to deduct based on the borrowed money of the rogues that you call governors. Now you are in total debt, in total mess. Today, look at it. Federal government alone is now servicing debt with about 4 trillion. Imagine how much they are paying to service the debt of the states to make up for what they have borrowed so far. And they are continuing because the interest is cheap. Before they finally turn you to the property of China, you better start waking up. They said they want to request a probe. Do you know what the minister who is spearheading all this charade with China is Rotifmi Amaechi, the Ubima. They call him Ubima tortoise, but I'm not going to call him that. Let's call him Ubima tiger. The smart dude. He said, no. Don't ask any question about the loan. Please. If you ask questions, you are going to offend China. You are going to offend our lender. It's going to look like we are not agreeing. Oh boy, you are not agreeing. People don't even know what you agreed to. Ask questions, and then after you ask questions, the next thing you must also work on, my brothers and sisters, if you are in Nigeria, get your international passport before they change the name, okay? Before you turn to refugees too. Those who didn't believe that Bukwari is coming to unleash this terror on them. Unfortunately, I have a Yusuf watching me. A Yusuf that probably is watching me right now from Dubai, Saudi Arabia, or is watching me from Abuja, hidden place somewhere far away from the northeast, from the southern Kaduna, where those who thought the moment they elected a general and a pastor, devil go run, terrorists go run, only to see that the pastor, the general, they are actually attractive and attracted to terrorists. They are attracted to thieves. And here we are. They have turned to refugees in their own country. Do you want to wait? It is your turn? Because some of you don't have a clue. It's going to happen. Until then, continue to stay safe. We won't stop talking. Tomorrow. Good evening.
Maiyegun ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra jù. Àní ẹ̀ súnra jù. Lórí Facebook. Àní ẹ̀ súnra jù. Lórí YouTube. Àní ẹ̀ súnra jù. Ọba bá gbé wúrẹ́. Àní ẹ̀ súnra jù. Ijó ìgbádùn yẹ. Àní ẹ̀ súnra jù. Presido bá wí sí o. Àní ẹ̀ súnra jù. Gómìnà kówó jẹ. Àní ẹ̀ súnra jù. Ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí bá. Àní ẹ̀ súnra jù. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin òru. Àní ẹ̀ súnra jù.